What the? Salute. Salute, 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 salute. Appreciate you guys. This damage control just cut off, man. Salute. Why is this doing it to my chat? Why is my chat acting up? Salute in the chat, man. Long time no see, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Trying to get back into these. Also trying to do tape content for you guys, man. Put out the draft video, the 3 guys I think could be some late round, even though again we're picking late round anyway, but more so before these guys start to move up into the first round. I try to make a video more so in the second round guys the Knicks could consider, but most of those guys already moved up into the first. So please still check out the video, man. Put some time into that because I watch a lot of film, so I feel comfortable talking about players again. I just don't watch highlights. I try to watch all the possessions, and I have some places where I could go to. I'm watching 2.5 hours of content. Like I've just watched about an hour and a half. Got about an hour and 10 minutes left to go on Baylor Shireman. We're gonna talk about today, but please go check that video out, man. I appreciate you guys. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Definitely got Monster Dushan in the building. Salute. We got to sign both. Talking about iHeart and OG Anunoby. We'll get to that. Jima, why for the love of the God are parakeeting Windhurst? This guy has not been right or nothing that has come out of his mouth. Yeah, man, look, the guy got on because of the LeBron James connection. He's been missing a lot of things. And again, a lot of those ESPN guys, they just follow either LeBron or Steph Curry. They follow the top news, and if it's not LeBron, if it's not about the Cowboys, you know what I'm saying, man, it is what it is. Salute to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights says, hey everyone, happy Wednesday, man, happy Juneteenth, man. Salute to all the people, all the peoples, the originals out there celebrating, man, Juneteenth. As Brandon Nimmo, I thought that was gonna be a home run, but I guess not. As my Mets 7-game win. Let me chill. I'm not talking about my Mets. Let's breathe a little bit. Coach Sign the Bill, salute my guy. Quinnipen, salute. Donald Cannon, salute. King Rid, my guy. Salute my guy. Muhammad Thomas, salute. Corey Lee. Let me see if your comments are actually showing up. Oh, okay, they're showing up, man. But we got a lot to talk about, man. And I'll probably only be here for like maybe an hour and a half. But why is this thing always off? I got a few things to talk about. iHeart, there have been talks about him going for $20 million. Made a video on that. $20 million. OKC is so-called interested. Even though I think some of that interest has kind of been overblown. Talking about him possibly getting $20 million, $22 million, according to Fred Katz. $15 to $22 million. We're going to talk about that. Also, OG Anunoby, allegedly, according to Windhorst, of all people, saying that OG Anunoby was unhappy with the initial offer the Knicks have sent them. No one knows what that initial offer is, but people speculate anywhere from 30 to 40 million. Now, again, this guy has been so often injured in his career, it is hard to truly gauge what other teams are thinking. Now, obviously, the 76ers are a team that may be interested. They're definitely looking for a wing to complement Maxey and whatever legs they got left in Joel Embiid. But are they willing to pay for a guy in OG Anunoby, Paul George? Also come off contract. Again, the 76ers have the second largest amount of cap space going into next season because they only have 3 guys signed, and that's not including Maxey. Now, all reports have shown that they're most likely going to re-sign Maxey, but again, their payroll is about mulch. It's like 68 million or 60-something million on their payroll for next season. So they have the space to sign up Paul George to give him the max if he doesn't opt into his player option. But again, a guy like Paul George also been often injured, and he's not really been able to so-called elevate his teams like has been expected, despite the sheer amount of talent in that guy's arsenal or profile. I mean, it's you could talk about him on OKC, him with the Pacers. Now, granted, he's on the Pacers, but he started to get his little attitude on the Pacers. It really seemed like he just wanted to leave, but now with the Clippers, they really haven't hit the heights like they wanted to. Now, granted, they do have 2 extraordinarily talented players, but two often injured players in him and Kawhi Leonard. But again, they were supposed to make some noise after the James Harden trade, and they just have not been able to hit their stride. So, poor George, 76ers might be desperate. Again, Embiid is on what may be deemed, his last leg. So it might be, hey, let's just go all in. Give him the money. You have, Maxey. You have your guard. You have Embiid. Well, I think it's signed to 27, 28, or 28, 29. I might be wrong, but I know he has some years on him. Then you have to sign some depth. Obviously, Oubre is another name that's come up. He's a free agent. He's a guy that they could possibly look to try to resign. He probably wants to get paid, but it's a guy that I've heard they want to resign him and reward him for such a solid season. Even though he can't shoot from three, but he's been a lot more consistent, I guess, in his takes. That makes any sense. A lot less volatile, let me say, in some of his takes. So to everybody in the chat, man. Danny Len is in the building. So my guy says, Gmo, my friend, salute. My friend told me Woj was reporting earlier. OG was signing with Philly for 4 years. 160. Look, man, Philly wants to do that. And I have my cap tracker that I created on Excel. And I've toyed around with that. I showed this on one of the older videos I did maybe a month ago. And we're right at that second apron now. We gotta talk about, are we a second apron team? Now I already calculated that if we gave now granted Bojan's here with the 19 million, it seems like they're gonna trigger the extension. So he's guaranteed for that 19 million for the season. Looking like they're most likely gonna try to trade him off. He's expiring. But if you gave OJ Anunoby 35 million and you gave iHeart again, according to this article, I'm gonna get to it real quick. They can only give him around 16.13 million a year, 72 million for 4 years, and you could cut it up by like 3 years too. But you can't go over that 16 million per, based on the salary, the bargain agreement. So the teams that want to give him 20, they want to give him 20, but Knicks can't give him. Now if you give OJ Anunoby, oh crap, why is my numbers not working? All right, cool, it's working now. Yeah, if you give OJ Anunoby that 40 million, you'd be at 192, assuming you give iHeart his 16 per. And you're gonna hit that second apron at 190. So are the Knicks a second apron team? Especially now with the Bojan contract, are you looking to trade off? Now, I believe here's the thing: if Bojan is re-signed or is his options taken for that 19 million, you can't. Let me see what's the names are for the second apron. I believe you can't make any trades of any cut players. I know that's one restriction. Second apron. You can't take on any more salary. Yep, outgoing salaries can be aggregated in combined trades. Cannot acquire a player in return in an outgoing sign and trade. And obviously it'll be our first year, but 3 out of 5 years, if you stay in the apron for 3 out of 5 years, your first round picks will automatically move to the end of the round. Outgoing salaries cannot be combined. Yeah, we are not a second apron team. Outgoing salary can acquire. Teams can use trade exceptions created from a year prior. Teams can only get trading cash. Salary matching rules themselves are getting more restrictive as CBA. Blah. So yeah, instead of being able to take on 125, we can only match we have to match 100% of the salary. So we can't essentially do a trade if either way, say 25% or 110%, or that extra 25% is coming from either us or the other team. And we can't use a mid-level exception. Obviously, if you're a second apron team, most likely not looking to. You have your set team. And first round pick 7 years out cannot be traded. So, yeah, some ugly restrictions on that second apron. And I just don't think we're a second apron team. Coach Cyrus says get Eason and done just in case. I would love Terry Eason here. I like Terry Eason. People were killing me. Nick was killing me for liking Terry Eason. PDP in the building. Salute, my guy. Let Precious Burks all walk. All right, so let me get to my brother. Got my brother Darcy in the building. Let me get to the StreamYard. Of course, I didn't set that up because I'm an idiot. By the way, there was some very interesting film from Zach Miller on Twitter showing Ryan Dunn. Like I said on the video I put out last week regarding Ryan Dunn and the late draft picks that I think the Knicks will look at, Ryan Dunn's jumper is not totally broken. it is not totally broken like how people say it is. In high school, you say, not granted, I know high school's high school, but it's a confidence thing with this guy. Let me get to the damn stream card. And Darcy. Ah, crap. Hold on, Darcy. I got a freaking... Oh, gosh. I gotta sign in. Alright, StreamYard. Where's my StreamYard? Open up. Hey, yo, pause. Yo, I'm wildin'. Let me see. Stop the cam. It's Darcy in the building. Stop the cam. Yo, Darcy got turned on the volume in the background. Oh, crap. Darcy without the hat. Oh, no. What am I doing?
Yo.
Hold on. I don't know why this is... Everything is going haywire. Give me 2 seconds, Darcy. I just messed up.
Sure, bro.
What the... Where's my stream? Alright, hold on. Sorry, guys, about this. I don't know why my StreamYards, the sizing is all messed up, but we should be good. Excuse me, y'all. Just give me 2 seconds. Brother Darcy was good, my guy. How are you, bro? Salute.
What's good, yo, man? Ready
chillin'.
Knicks basketball.
Yo, chillin', bro, man. Yo, son, tell me your initial thoughts, man. Celtics win in 5. Looks like it's gonna be expected, but I feel like they had the easiest path to the chip. Out of all the teams, not to poo-poo, the accomplishments. I think Tatum and Brown definitely have deserved one. It's been a so-called long time coming for them, but talk about your initial thoughts on the championship, and then we get to the iHeart, we get to the next offseason talk.
Yeah, I mean, obviously once the Knicks get eliminated, it's like my year's over with. So it's like I typically don't really care. But when I saw it was the Mavs and Celtics, I would have preferred the Celtics to win, just because I see they've been battle tested, right? They've experienced defeat. They've been a contender since Jason Tatum has been in the league. He came into the league playing for a contender. So I just think, so when you think about the fact how long these guys have been fighting to win a championship year after year, and the thing about it, they didn't break up their core. A lot of people say, hey, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown can win together. The team, the organization, the leadership, they kept just filling in pieces, trying to bring in the right guys that could gel and get it done. And the thing about it is, see what you want about, an easy path to the championship, but at the end of the day, every team can lose. Any team can lose if they don't go out there and take care of business. So, much credit to them. But I want to see what the Knicks can do, a healthy Knicks team can do, not only against them, but the best of the West as well. And I mean, hopefully next year the Knicks can get a similar pathway too, to where you don't have to fight one of the big dogs like the Denver Nuggets or the Timberwolves or the OKC Thunder, teams with a lot more length that kind of offer a different matchup against us. So yeah, I mean, it's the Celtics. It is what it is.
I feel it was expected. I don't think Luka and Kyrie, as exciting it would have been for those guys to have a back and forth kind of deal, kind of like how the Cavaliers did in 2015-16 with LeBron James and Kyrie, of all people, against the Warriors. But the Celtics just too much depth. They went through like 6-7 was just too strong. Derek White coming off the bench. And Luka and Kyrie missed a lot of clutch shots, man. They look frazzled. So, and this sounds crazy. I say chalk this up. Thank you, American basketball, because everyone liked to poo-poo on American basketball. Talk about how weak we were, that Luka and Jokic was just too easy for them. And, I take a little umbrage with that BS, man. So salute to those guys, man, for showing that, USA basketball is still alive and well, man. We still got the talent, you know what I'm saying? But, look, congrats to the Celtics of all teams, man. I'm not a Celtics fan by any stretch of imagination, but, They did deserve it, man. And it would have been pathetic for them to not win one with all that talent. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown not to win one. Nah, that's wild. That's wild.
And the wise guys who haven't been as competitive you in terms of advancing in the playoffs and stuff like that. Once you go up against these type of guys, you got to get that win. And I mean, not necessarily Kyrie because he has a championship under his belt, but Luka Doncic, man, whoop his ass. Get the win.
I agree with you, man. So let's get to it, man. We got a lot of things to talk about. First and foremost, because your man Darcy hit me up like last week or 2 weeks ago, like, yo, we gotta talk about this, man. iHeart, right? So obviously iHeart is coming up for contract extension. There've been talks of iHeart anywhere from 15 million to 22 million. Fred Katz came out with an article today. I think it was just kind of I don't think it's like there's a major update, but he so-called surveyed a bunch of a bunch of executives around the league, asking for what the actual value of iHeart would be. Now, again, the most the Knicks can offer iHeart is $72.5 million. That's $16.13 million or whatever per season. That is the most. We cannot go any higher than that. Now, other teams can go higher than that. Obviously, one team's the OKC Thunder, who is kind of somewhat of a mixed fit. He doesn't really fit in terms of their front court, what those guys can do. Obviously, they got guys like Chet Holmgren. They still got Ousmane Dieng in the wings in the G League, who's been doing a solid job and is looking like a nice project for them. But iHeart does a few things that they've struggled with, which is rebounding. They were one of the worst rebounding teams in the playoffs and the regular season. He also is another passer for that team, which definitely helps him out. Takes away a lot of the pressure away from SGA. And with iHeart, according to Fred Katz, he talks about, Jalen Brunson, Hartenstein pick and roll, which is one of the best in the league. iHeart's ability to pass is another major benefit. I think he maybe had like a 12% assist percentage, 12 or 15%. I got to check the stats again, but a relatively strong assist percentage amongst all the Knicks and mostly and a lot of the bigs in the league. And iHeart even this season talked about Tom Thibodeau preparing him on defensive end, making sure that he was one of the most prepared players on the court. Now again, some executives are sitting here saying that iHeart's worth $15 million. Some said he's perfectly right at 16, 17 million. One said that he's just as good as Jakob Poeltl, who got 4 years, $80 million with a player option. Jared Allen got $20 million with 3 years ago. Said one person suggested 4 for $80 was good for Hartenstein. He said not an all-star, but legit starting center. And the most someone says that they would commit to Hartenstein was $90 million over 4 years, was $22.5 million a year. In quotes, the market for starting caliber bigs is very narrow, said Apollo, who proposed one of the more expensive contracts for Hartenstein. You also got Nicholas Claxton is also up for an extension as well too. I believe the Nets want to re-sign Claxton. He mentioned some teams with some sizable cap space this season, which includes the 76ers, Detroit Pistons, who just fired their coach, Imani Williams, who has about $67 million left on his books, which is crazy. OKC Thunder, who I just mentioned. Utah Jazz was another interesting one, despite the fact they got Walker Kessler there, and then possibly Charlotte Hornets. But again, they mentioned not all those teams would be necessarily be interested in Utah Jazz, just saying those the teams who would have the space. But I want to get to you, Darcy, man. You're vehement about not re-signing iHeart. Now, granted, we have to take into account that Mitchell Robinson has been out. He's been hurt for a lot of his recent tenure with the Knicks, right? He's just not the dependable guy. And I love Mitchell Robinson's talent. I love the fact that he's one of the more underrated guys, even though at one point he was freaking leading the league in offensive rebounding. Talk about box outs, defense in the paint. This season, without
as many games as he missed, still leading. I just want to highlight that. But go ahead.
No, he wasn't. No. Not this. He wasn't leading offensive rebounding for the end of the season. No, for this total season, no. But at one point he was.
Oh, yes, he did.
You want to check right now, bro?
I could have sworn I saw something about him still being at the top of the league.
Nope.
If somebody asked him, I'm surprised by that. But
let's check. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Because I did a video on Mitch and I checked. I don't think that was the case. I'm just being fair. Well, we could check right now.
But even then, to get into this topic, because I texted you about it, I'm getting real sick of Knicks fans.
Oh, wasn't.
And this is specifically to any Knicks fans in these comments who in the comments who said anything like this. I want you to know I got a real gripe to pick with you. Or any Knicks fan who feel, trade Mitchell Robinson, I got a problem with that. I got a real problem with that. One, let's really talk about it. Isaiah Hartenstein, this is his first season playing over 20 minutes. He averaged 19 minutes last year. This is his first season playing over 20 minutes. People want to highlight and say he's healthier, than Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson has 6 more seasons of playing over 20 minutes per game than Isaiah Hartenstein does. That's one. Two, first of all, let's talk about it. Mitchell Robinson had to do all of the Knicks' dirty work since he's been a center for the Knicks. We have not had a defensive stopper in OG Anunoby until December, the end of December. Mitchell Robinson has not really had the chance to play with OG. He has not had a guy that can help take the pressure off of defending like OG does. OG literally made Isaiah Hartenstein's job way easier. If Hartenstein had to play the role of just being the rim protector without us having a defensive player in there like OG, bro, he would not have had the impact that he had. And he even credited OG for that, saying that OG makes his job a lot easier. And then if we compare numbers, Mitchell Robinson, same numbers, 8.8, not this season, but we talk about last season, the season prior, and then the one before that, he had 2 seasons where he only played 31 games, which was this past season, and then I think the 2021 season. Outside of that, you can't really knock his injury history. Before it was 59 games out of 82 games. I get it. But this is a guy who was literally doing all of the banging for the Knicks before we had anyone that was doing any of that. We did not have he was here before we had a Jalen Brunson. He was here defending and holding down our paint, keeping guards out of the paint, giving us rim protection and offensive rebounding. So, and then if you look at the monster season that this guy was having to start the season, it was clear that he was going to hit a new pinnacle in his career before the injury, which again occurred before we had OG Anunoby. So when you have a guy like OG who's going to help take pressure off, how do you sit there and knock Mitchell Robinson like that when he's been our guy before that? The only reason the Knicks were a good defensive team was because of Mitchell Robinson's rim protection. The Knicks do not need a damn floater and passing from Isaiah Hartenstein. If that was how Thibs' offense was ran and we ran the offense to Isaiah Hartenstein more, that would be different. But the way I see it, when you bring Julius Randle back, when you get OG Anunoby back, when you have Dante back, and you have Jalen, you need second chance opportunities. That is why the Knicks excelled so well last year, because of Mitchell Robinson's 4 offensive rebounds per game, nearly 5 offensive rebounds per game. The Knicks need rim protection and rebounding out of our bigs. We don't need a floater from you. I don't need you making risky passes and causing turnovers either. I am not that big on Hartenstein. I don't hate him. I will clap when he does well. But at the end of the day, to me, he's highly inflated, and Knicks fans need to stop it. This is his first season playing 25 minutes per game. Let's throw him out there and see how healthy he remains with a full season of doing that year after year after year after year. I guarantee you he will get some injuries. And then let's talk about the playoff performance. First of all, against the Pacers, he got cooked, bro. Miles Turner, who is not an aggressive center by any stretch of the imagination, he's a 7-footer who would rather shoot threes on you, dunked on Isaiah Hartenstein about 4 times, which I could not help but notice. He got cooked by Miles Turner. And then he was getting cooked by Embiid. If we did not have Mitchell Robinson for that series, we would not have beat the 76ers. So for y'all talking about trade Mitchell Robinson, as long as Joel Embiid is in the East, as long as Giannis Antetokounmpo is in the East, you need Mitchell Robinson. He is a big body 7-footer who is going to bang with any center that you put up against him. Look how he came in there, not having played throughout the season, and handled Joel Embiid like that. You saw the difference between when Mitchell Robinson was on Joel Embiid versus when Isaiah Hartenstein was on Joel Embiid. It was a clear difference. Had Isaiah Hartenstein been the only center, we would have been cooked. And guess what? If you want to say that's not the case, we had a sample size of that. We did not have Mitchell Robinson for the second series. As soon as Mitchell Robinson went out, I knew our playoff was over. The only reason I was truly optimistic about us truly going further was because Mitchell Robinson was coming back. That's the only reason. You need Mitchell Robinson to win. If we would have beat the Boston and went up against the Timberwolves or any of these other teams with length, you think Isaiah Hartenstein was cooking two 7-footers on their team? You have no, even if the Knicks had another backup big, I would not have been confident with Isaiah Hartenstein being the starting big. Not watching him against Joel Embiid, not watching him against Miles Turner, not watching him against Bam Adebayo. Bam cooked Mitchell Robinson last year in the playoffs. I'll give him that. But I have not seen anybody else cook Mitchell Robinson outside of Nikola Jokic, and he no longer does that. Mitch put on weight, muscled up, and is able to match up against any center that you put up against him. There are not many centers around this league that can, one, protect the rim like Mitchell Robinson does and rebound like he does when healthy. So you want to talk about his health history? So what? The same thing is going to be the case with OG. But the Knicks front office clearly has to see Mitchell Robinson's impact. I am not trading a guy who gives me what we need, rebounding and rim protection. I don't care about Isaiah Hartenstein's floater. I don't care that he's better offensively. Mitchell Robinson has one of the highest field goal percentages. His field goal percentage around the rim is higher than Hartenstein's. So I just don't get it. The numbers are literally the same. I get the health concern, but guess what? We did not have OG. Mitchell Robinson literally had to do all of the Knicks' dirty work, and no one can tell me that he did not. He kept guards out of the paint for years for us. This was my guy coming into the league. So the fact that y'all sit here and y'all are so disloyal against a guy who was having a monster season before he got injured, which we don't control. You don't control injuries. Julius Randle could have the same history now. Y'all going to scream trade him. At some point, we have to start doing right by our players. And players who won, we know. And I look at my starting center, I am not confident against Hartenstein against in the first round and the second round in a conference finals and the NBA finals. I'm not confident against him going up against every center. Mitchell Robinson, I am absolutely confident. The only time I'm not going to be confident is if you put a stretch big out there that takes him away from the rim. But again, if you get OG out there, you get Julius Randle out there, you have guys with some size that can help counter that and help contest the big so Mitchell Robinson can go and keep the guards out the paint. He was not as mobile this year because clearly he dealt with that ankle injury and he still fought to come back. He still helped us make it out of that first round.
So are you done, sir? You're repeating yourself now. You're repeating yourself now. Can I go, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, Mitchell Robinson's my guy. I love Mitchell Robinson here, right? So, but you said a few things that are just woefully incorrect.
What's incorrect?
So the team's defense was actually better this season with Mitchell Robinson out. Not saying that I want him out.
OG Anunoby.
Can I please finish?
How do you make an argument that OG's on a team?
So again, but when we sit up here, when you look at all the lineups, when you look up all the lineups with iHeart versus Mitchell Robinson, right? Those lineups where iHeart was still defensively better, giving up only 111 to Mitchell Robinson's 118 a game. And I love Mitchell Robinson. Do not get me wrong. So one of the lineups for OG Anunoby, the second most played iHeart lineup included Jalen Brunson, Don DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Precious Achiuwa, and iHeart, and it was still better than Mitchell Robinson's best lineup.
Bro,
it only gave up. Oh my gosh! Can I finish? I said, You're not listening. I let you speak for 5 minutes. You repeat yourself 3 times. Hey, it is making sense if you stop talking. Isaiah Hartenstein, I'm telling you, the second.
So when we compare stats,
the second most played lineup with iHeart that did not include. I'm telling you, did not include OG Anunoby. It still was better defensively regarding points given up per 100 possessions than Mitchell Robinson.
Do you hear yourself?
Yes. Our offensive rebounding did not take it. Hold up, bro. I let you talk for 5 minutes. I did not say nothing. The team's rebounding, especially offensive end, did not take a dip. And I said this during the year. And I love Mitchell Robinson. Again, I love what he provides for the Knicks. I will never poo-poo on it. But Tom Thibodeau preaches when Mitchell Robinson was here, we were able to just have Mitchell Robinson sit up there and fight for every rebound. 2-3 guys draped him in paws on every offensive rebounding. When Mitchell Robinson not there, Tom Thibodeau had to rely on Josh Hart, had to rely on Don DiVincenzo, had to rely on iHart, had to rely on OG Anunoby to do the rebounding. And that made our guys work harder and better and more effectively on the boards. That's why the rebounding did not go down. And again, of course, yes, OG Anunoby figures into that. But to sit up here and act like iHeart was just some pushover, yes, there were series where where iHeart got bullied. Yes, that Pacers series. But again, with everybody hurt, and we sit up here and we don't take into account that iHeart was not fully healthy. Everybody forget that he had the Achilles issue coming back, and there were games where he looked like absolute dog-ish. We sit up here and forget that this guy was still hurt and probably was still hurt going into the playoffs. With Mitchell Robinson, yes, he had some great defensive stops against Embiid. I will not take that away from him. But to make it seem like Mitchell Robinson's never gotten destroyed before, bro, literally most of his career outside of one series, not one series, excuse me, one series, maybe 1 or 2 years ago.
One bad series
against I'm talking about against Embiid, not a series, excuse me. Where he got killed except for one time where and they were doubling Embiid. Embiid used to torture Mitchell Robinson. Are you kidding me? For my career sitting here, he used to torture Mitchell Robinson.
No.
So to make it, yes. I covered every game here. I can still remember. I will go back and remember the game. It was like two. Of course you did, because you don't watch all these games. Maybe two seasons ago. This one they had the dude from, what's the guy from Carousel? The big fat dude, not big fat dude. The dude from Carousel. He's with Cleveland now. He's a Dominican. He looks out of shape. I'm forgetting this dude's name. I think he's on the Cavaliers now. And they had that dude.
I know you talking about dude off the bench, Mexican looking dude.
Yeah. There was only one game where I was like, yo, and it was where they were doubling Embiid. Mitch Robinson, every time Embiid would be on the baseline, they would double him. Mitch get some help from and Embiid probably shot one of his worst games that season. Every other game besides that, Embiid would be the line 20-something times a game, torturing Mitchell Robinson to make it seem like Mitchell Robinson was just a stop against Embiid. And again, I want Mitchell Robinson here. But the whole point was to talk about iHeart. iHeart here at 15. iHeart here. I don't like Mitch Robinson. Do I sit up here and say I want Mitch Robinson gone that badly? If I bring up a trade proposition, it's just us talking about the construction of the team. Every time I'm here, I extol Mitchell Robinson. I give him all his props, but he's still limited play. He's not going to be passed as good as iHeart.
We don't need his passing.
Yes, you do. Oh my gosh. Oh, everything. But y'all sit up here. Y'all sit up here and complain about James. Y'all sit up here and complain.
That's what his passing was doing.
They sit up here and
stupid risky backdoor.
Right. And they sit up. Thank you. George Niang was a guy. All they do is sit up here and they get on Brunson about hogging the ball. Hey, well, someone should operate the offense. Someone should facilitate when another person does. Of course, there are times when iHeart was making some dumbass passes, some dumbass turnovers. To make it seem like that was the only thing he was doing on the court? Are you mad? Are you mad, bro? You've never liked iHeart, and you've said it here.
No.
Oh my gosh, we can go back. You said we should have Mason Plumlee, right?
I don't have to duck how I feel about iHeart.
Guys in the chat, yo, if anybody remembers, do y'all remember when this dude was saying that we could have Mason? Who's the dude from? Was it Mason Plumlee from the Hornets? That we can have him over iHeart. Yes, you did. Yo,
wrong person.
This guy. Who was it?
Wrong guy. You definitely got the wrong guy, because I'm definitely not a Mason Plumlee advocate. So
guys in the chat, who was this dude? Who was this guys in the chat? Who was this guy talking about that the Knicks could have over iHeart, that we should trade over?
While you figure that out, let's
was it Plumlee, y'all?
While you figure that out, let's talk about the variables that you brought up first. So you try to bring up lineups without OG.
Eddie C, thank you,
Mitchell Robinson has not played with neither of Dante DiVincenzo, who averaged nearly 4 rebounds a game, and he has not played with Precious Achiuwa, who averages 6 to 8 rebounds per game. So Mitchell Robinson, you cannot compare Mitchell Robinson to Isaiah Hartenstein when Mitchell Robinson was not even available to play with these guys. He got injured before we even made the trade for OG and Anunoby. So first of all, I don't know why the hell you even thought to make that comparison.
Because I gave you the rotations without OG and Anunoby, and they were still better Mitchell Robinson. They were still better than Mitchell Robinson.
If you don't have the sample size to compare the two,
I said it, and you didn't like it. You were mad that I gave you a rotation. I gave him rotations without OJ Anunoby for iHeart, and they were still better defensive than Mitchell Robinson. He was mad.
Who did Mitchell Robinson play with to start the season? He played with Quentin Grimes, Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, and Julius Randle. That's all you have as a sample size. Two guys who, in your argument, are not there. So you have two additional guys.
Are you listening, bro?
Hey, listen,
bro. Are you listening?
Anunoby who will give you at least 4 rebounds per game, and take OG out of that. Now you still have.
I still did, and it was still better defensively, dogs.
First of all, you're talking about rim protection against putting Isaiah Hartenstein next to Precious Achiuwa, who's a legitimate power forward at center. What are you talking about?
Okay, hold on.
Put Mitchell Robinson in that same situation and watch him dominate and get the Knicks second chance points and get Dante DiVincenzo more shots and get Jalen Brunson more shots and get Julius Randle more shots. So what are we talking about here? If Mitchell Robinson doesn't have to turn around and put in so much work to hold down the team's defensive mistakes, which they've highlighted time and time again, that's what Mitchell Robinson brings. If you have a guy who can make defending easier for you to where you don't sit there and have to bang and buck and contest every damn shot for someone else, then maybe you would be healthier.
You think that was the case? You think that was the case that every defender on this team was just some absolute sieve that whenever they guarded somebody, they blew right past them, that defender, and Mitchell Robinson had to carry them on every position. You think that's the case, bro?
Do you understand? RJ Barrett and Quentin Grimes being in your starting lineup versus a Dante DiVincenzo and an OG Anunoby and a Precious Achiuwa is entirely different lineup. Why are you comparing the two? You do not have the sample size to knock Mitchell Robinson because he was not available.
Because I've watched Mitchell Robinson. When we talk about offense, it is about what I watch. What else we going off of? What else we going off of? We're talking about Mitchell Robinson. Is Mitchell Robinson a better passer than iHeart? Is Mitchell Robinson a better passer than iHeart?
I don't give a damn about.
Is Mitchell Robinson a better scorer than iHeart? Yes, I do. Yes, you do. Stop. Stop. Because your offense cannot just be funneled through Brunson.
No.
It can't be.
I don't need his passing. Give me a guard.
Oh my gosh. Now give me a guard. Now he's just talking about sample size. Now is get me a guard, which means that we didn't have a guard before. Now he wants another guard. Yeah, you have another big on the team who can actually facilitate. You have a front court player who can actually facilitate and move the ball around. No, get me another guard. You have a guy who had one of the best pick and roll combinations with our best player on this team. Now it's and I do want another guard. But now he's talking about sample size. But now it's give me another guard. That'd be better for iHeart. You talking about and iHeart? Now he's not a real rim protector.
In my eyes,
you never liked him. You never liked him.
Out of my big. That's all I need from you. I don't want you touching the ball.
I'm sorry, Red Ball.
I'm touching the ball like that. I want you rebound. If you get a putback, put it back up. If you got a rebound, kick it back out. That's what I need out of my bigs. I like a traditional big. I don't like all these stretch fives and the bigs taking shots.
And iHeart's not a stretch five, so okay. iHeart's not a stretch five. Okay, we got you. iHeart's not a stretch big, but okay. Let me see.
You said iHeart's not a stretch big?
Can iHeart shoot from the outside? Can iHeart shoot from the outside? Hold on. Can iHeart shoot from the outside?
Yes.
This what I'm arguing with. Show me a season in the NBA where iHeart's have more than three point attempts a game and average at least 35%.
Again, his shooting on the Clippers was one of the things that were highlighted.
Well, how many attempts did he take a game with the Clippers?
That's up to the
I'll give you a whole minute. I'll give you a whole minute.
That's
Go
up
look
to the coach to do that.
I'll give you a whole and I wonder why the coach doesn't do that. You think Tyrone Lue is a dumbass? I wonder why the coach should not give this guy more attempts from the outside. What was his amount of attempts out from outside?
That thinks his coach other than Karl Anthony Towns, and he really and technically Karl Anthony Towns wasn't really playing a five if you want to say that. I mean, again, my whole point is I'm not here to argue that. My whole point is, at the end of the day, when you start talking about trading Mitchell Robinson to keep Isaiah Hartenstein, that's when I have an issue. I'm not an iHeart hater. I don't want him gone. If he was gone, I'd be like, oh, damn, you know. But guess what? To me, get me an Andre Drummond in here who's going to rack up them rebounds and get us second chance points. Give me an Andre Drummond. I don't need to pay two bigs 15 and 16 million. Give me an Andre Drummond in here.
And by the way, sorry to cut you off. Somebody in the chat, I don't know who, I think it's building, whatever. iHeart's never averaged more than 1 3-pointer a season in any of his seasons. The most he's averaged was 0.5 last year with the Knicks. He's never averaged more than 0.6 in a season.
He shot 33%.
He is not a stretch big, bro. Bro, that's not a stretch big. It don't matter what the percent. It don't matter if the percent. It don't matter if you're shooting less than 1 3-pointer a game. You do not qualify to be considered a stretch big.
First of all, let me tell you why Can I counter that?
Go
ahead. Can I counter that? Because if we're looking at the sample size, we're talking over a period of 82 games. So to average one 3-pointer a game means you're actually shooting them joints for you to average one.
No, you're not. That doesn't know it.
Bro, over an 82 game sample to average one.
You're not listening.
We're talking
Darcy. You're not listening. I just said the most he's averaged in a season is half of one. I'm not even talking. One is not even a lot. Half of one is nothing.
Did you hear what I said?
That means you're taking 1 3 every other game.
Listen, that's my whole point. That's my whole point. You can't look at that metric. You have to actually look at how many he attempted, the actual numbers of attempts versus makes. Now tell me what that number is.
Bro, that's what I just... Are you listening? What do you think? When I say he took, what do you think
you
took?
Said averages per game. I'm asking
Yes. Average. I'm sorry. As in take.
No, what's the total amount of...
Oh my gosh, he's not listening. Bro. If you're averaging 0.5 takes a season, what the hell? Or if you're averaging 0.5 a game, takes a game, what do you think I'm saying, bro?
Let me just Google what I'm asking.
Yeah, please just Google. Go to Basketball Reference. You want me to share the screen right now, bro? He's averaged 0.5 threes a game. That's nothing.
That's not
0.5 threes is high.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you what is the actual count of how many 3-point shots he took versus what he made. If he shoots 33% on the Clippers, that 33% number has to be based on the amount of attempts that you took.
The highest he had on the Clippers, he averaged 0.4 takes a three-pointers taken a game and averaged 46.7%. It's nothing. That means he's made about 0.2 of those. That's nothing. Are we out of our minds? Did we take statistics in high school or freaking college? Are we out of our minds, dogs? That means nothing. No, there's nothing to think about. He's not a 3-point shooter. He's not a stretch big.
You said it's zero. So let's look at it. 0.1, 0.0, 0.0, 0.2, 0.1,
works for me.
Listen, that's not going to tell you much. What I would look at personally is the 3-point percentage, which now tells me based on how many shots you made based on attempts, right? So we look at attempts over the course of his career. I'm not even going to read the low numbers or where he shot less than 10. If we look at which was this season, he shot less than 10. He shot 3, and then when he was on the Rockets, he shot 6, 5, and 6. When he was on the Clippers, which is specifically what I'm referencing, he took 33. 30. That's a good sample size to look at.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying to at least convert and say, okay.
Oh my gosh. He just cried about sample sizes and he wants to use 33s in a season.
I'm saying that's a better metric to look at than what you pointed out. You're talking about 0.2 that doesn't tell me how many attempts.
No, I said 0.4 attempts a game, bro.
No, I don't see any 0.4 here.
Right, I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, now you're talking about.
There's no 0.4 here.
No, look at his. I'm looking at Basketball Reference, my guy.
I'm looking at Stat News.
Okay. Do you want me to share the Basketball Reference, which is probably a little more dependable than Stat News? Do you want me to do that, bro?
You don't have to. I'm just saying.
Everybody in the chat. All right, let me share the screen real quick. Hold up, y'all, because he really thinks I'm like joking around. Like anyone would consider iHeart a stretch big with regards to his shooting. Like that's just it's asinine. You taking 0.5. This guy's not even taking one. We didn't even take Obi Toppin and his 2.5 or whatever 2.8 threes at Dayton as him truly being a stretch 4 because he's like it's not really enough in how they play the system. We will scratch our heads with that one. We really trying to sit up here and debate if iHeart's a stretch big.
Do you know what coach we're talking about here? Do you know what coach we're talking about here? When did Stibbs play with stretch bigs like that? When does he?
You tell me. Okay, you tell me who the bigs that Tom Thibodeau's had that you consider stretch bigs that he didn't utilize.
I just told you the closest would have been to that.
Okay, was Cat. Who he didn't even. Who he did not even tell me the centers and the bigs that Tom Thibodeau's played or drafted or signed.
What stretch bigs? That's not my argument. I keep telling you.
No, I'm asking you who are the bigs that Tom Thibodeau has either signed or drafted.
Signed? Shit, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
How can you make?
I didn't follow.
So how can you say that he only likes traditional bigs when you?
Because if I look at the history of it, Joakim Noah's not a stretch 5. What are we talking about?
No, he's not. He likes
rim protection out of his bigs. Joakim Noah. I mean, that's the perfect example.
Who else? Again,
who else?
And by the way, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, sir. Who drafted him?
Bro, I don't know. But why are we talking?
Who drafted? No, that's the whole point. Who drafted? Hold up. Who drafted Joakim Noah?
I don't know, bro. I don't know who drafted him.
So okay. So do you think Tom Thibodeau drafted him?
It's not about drafting him.
Yes, it is.
Listen,
let me help you out, my guy. No. This go nowhere. This stupid now. You just said he prefers those bigs. So when you talk about he prefers a big, if I go to a team and they already have a roster there and they have players that can you let me finish? I'm gonna kill your stupid ass point right now. If I go to a team and they already have a team there and I have to play those guys, I'm not trained, whatever. And I'm playing with those guys. That doesn't mean those are my guys. Joakim Noah was drafted in 2007. Tom Thibodeau got there in 2000. He got there in 2010. He did not draft Joakim Noah, so you can't say Joakim Noah was a guy that
he did draft him.
So why would you mention when we talk about bigs that he's played with? Why would you say, "Oh, he just prefers"?
So wait a minute.
He didn't draft him.
So wait a minute.
Go ahead. You
talk about he didn't draft him. I don't care if he didn't draft him.
That would feed your whole point.
Listen, if a player doesn't fit your system, you're gonna get rid of him for a player that does. So
do you have to get rid of Joakim Noah just because you?
Because I don't give a fuck about.
Hey, whoa, no curse.
My whole point is Isaiah Hartenstein. If he wanted to be used as a stretch big and this system supported that, he would go for that. He would want to take more threes. This is a guy who shot 30-something three-point attempts. So he obviously wants to shoot. Like, what are we talking about here?
We got you, man. We got you. First and foremost, let me say rest in peace to Willie Mays, man. Say hey, the kid passed away yesterday. Because this conversation, you don't know what the hell a stretch big is. I'm not going to argue with you about a stretch big.
What's a stretch big then?
You don't know what a stretch big is. If you're going to sit here and say a guy who's averaged 0.4 takes, 0.5 takes a game is a stretch big, that's absolutely asinine. You got to be out of your freaking mind, dogs. You got to be out of here. You got to be out of here. Because he can't shoot. He can't shoot. Bro. That's why I hate when people say about Tom Thibodeau.
I don't want him.
Let me finish. I have seen too many games where Isaiah Hartenstein has literally had an open shot in the corner at the wing, and Tom Thibodeau has. And I've seen times where he's made air balls and he refused to shoot for freaking the next few games. Where then the next few games, if he has a ball, he's looking for the handoff. He's not looking to make the shot because he knows he can't shoot the ball consistently from outside. And I've never seen Tom Thibodeau bark on him after a missed three, after an airball three. I've never in my life seen him do that from a timeout or nothing. I've never seen that. So sit up here and say, "Oh, Tom Thibodeau doesn't do that." I've seen how many times is iHeart out there? He has all agency to do the fake handoff and shoot the three after the guard comes around. Defender is duped and thinks that the handoff went to the point guard. Yes, I've seen it so many times. iHeart's not holding him back. Stop it, dogs.
It's a dribble handoff.
iHeart ain't holding him back. Stop it. Stop it.
It is not for Isaiah Hartenstein to shoot.
Stop it, fam.
If you're open and that's the last shot, shoot the ball. But the offense is not calling for him to shoot the ball. Let's stop that. A stretch big, the offense is actually running through you in that format. So what are we talking about?
All right, man. All right. He's stretch big.
If you talk about trading Mitchell Robinson, to me, you are out of your mind. As long as Joel Embiid, as long as Bam Adebayo, as long as Giannis Antetokounmpo are on the East Coast, you do not trade Mitchell Robinson. And I bet you this. Trade Mitchell Robinson, and you don't get a big that can at least give you at least 80% of what Mitch is giving you, then we got a problem.
I don't disagree with in terms of the contribution from Mitchell Robinson, but some of the points you made, man, holy crap! You never like iHeart is fine, but to sit up here and say that he's not impactful like that's ridiculous.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's ridiculous. You never liked iHeart. You've never liked iHeart. You've said it. Who was the guy from the Charlotte Hornets who he said he'd trade for? Was it Plumlee? It was somebody from Charlotte Hornets said he'd rather have over.
Sign him, not trade him. I never proposed trading.
Sign Plumlee. Okay, sorry, sign Plumlee.
I never.
Okay, all right. But you said Plumlee over iHeart. I remember.
No, I did not. I said sign Plumlee in general. I never said over iHeart.
So you would have 3 centers here? Like,
bro,
come on, dog.
Yes, I would. First of all, that's the problem now. We had one center go down, and then you only have Isaiah Hartenstein and anchor the defense. You don't have a real big coming off the bench. You got 6'8", 6'9", Precious Achiuwa. You needed a real big. We should have had a third center. Man. What was the little? I forgot, dude. He's in the
Sims, Jericho.
No, not Jericho. Jericho's not a center to me. Jericho's a powerful. He's like Jokic. He's like Jokic. What's his name?
Stopping.
Yeah, man. I would have rather us have him on the bench
over iHeart
and growing than us not having a real big there. I don't like the whole Jericho and Precious Achiuwa combination. These are two guys.
Here's the thing, dude. I'm not against the initial point that we should have had more depth, especially after Mitchell Robinson went down. I agree with Jericho Sims. I said he needs to go to center school. He's not ready.
No, he's not.
I think that, a guy like Stapp, and again, other teams can see these players, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not against that. Stapp and Sev had a nice little run during the summer league, but I think these coaches see these players, and it's like, yeah, he's not ready. And other teams can see it. If they want to go after these guys, hey, force these guys to waive you and take you up so we can come and pick you up. And again, I'm not saying late in the season whatever that's gonna be the case, but they see these players and then I'm like, we gotta have this guy. Like they're like, all right, whatever, that's cool. So I'm not like, look, in terms of him being, he's gonna be an impact player or whatever. Like I just don't see it. But
imagine it.
Go ahead.
Imagine if that had been done with Jokic. You could have looked at his size.
But hold up. Jokic again is a very special case. Again, they also drafted Nurkic, so they had a guy in front of him. They traded Nurkic, but Jokic is a very, very. If you think about a very rare case, I can't even say it's a very rare case where a big old plotting second rounder from Serbia comes out and there's been a whole bunch of very good Serbian players that have come into the league and have not done anything. There've been a bunch of good players that have come into the league from international and not done anything. So I understand what you're saying, but like I don't want to use a Jokic example because that's just uncommon, just a very rare case. Go ahead.
Give me a Jackson Hayes. Give me an Andre Drummond. Right, Jackson Hayes is getting paid $2 million from the Lakers. You have a player option. Give him some extra money to come.
When Mitch went down December 8th, and Drummond was on Chicago, was Chicago still trying to fight for that 9th, 8th spot?
I
think so. I think they were not 8th, maybe like 9th or 10th. Just say late in the season, they're still fighting 9th and 10th. And I don't think Chicago. But see, that's the thing about it. I'm not against us picking up a guy like Drummond if it was coming off the cheap, but these stubborn teams who they're stuck with a whole bunch of. And remember, Levine got hurt late or a little bit later. They're stuck with these players where they don't want to break it up, so they're just gonna go and try to push for a playoff push through the play-ins, and they may not want to give up a guy like Drummond. Right?
He's a free agent. He's a free agent. It's not.
He's a free agent. No, but he's a free agent now, though. But it wasn't during the. I'm talking about during the season.
Oh, no. I'm talking about now.
Okay.
I'm talking about now. I don't want the Knicks to go into the season with only 2 centers. And to me,
okay, go. No, I didn't mean cut you. Go ahead.
I was just saying, bro, the biggest thing that stood out to me that's a hole that I want to see addressed before I feel like this team can win a championship is the trust aspect of things. Tom Thibodeau had all these players sitting on the bench that ultimately he could not trust. I watched Shake Milton get signed midseason, no trust. Taj Gibson said on the podcast that he was on the other day, he got signed the next day. What did he say?
He said, I forgot who got hurt, and Taj was like, there's no way Tim's going to ask me as I'm sitting on the bed or sitting on the couch or whatever, chilling. No way Tim's going to ask me. He said that at 3 a.m. or something like that, Tim's like, yo, you healthy? You ready? Whoa. Nah, all right. I won't lie on that one. Tibbs is bugging. And here's the thing with Shake, and this is why I get a little bit. This is why I've asked for GMs and basketball minds who are a little bit younger, think a little bit outside the box, like the dude who went to Washington, Will Dawkins. Because when it comes to this, I want us to go after guys like Isaiah Joe, who I've liked, who came off the 76ers and never got playing time, but he was a three-point sniper coming out of college. And it's like, that's the type of guy you could take a flyer on. I could hide you in the G League. Not hide you. I could play in the G League. I could see what you are. And it makes me have little to no risk. I want to get some of these younger players who got overdrafted or misdrafted and see where they're at versus, going back to Tom Thibodeau. Got like, who's your man from the Hornets? I think he's a Duke guy. He's a big. Oh my gosh, why am I forgetting his name? Nick Richards from the Hornets. That's a guy I would have taken a flyer on, right? Young player. Charlotte's going absolutely nowhere. Those are the type of guys you try to take a flyer on. Shoquan said it. Thank you. He probably said Nick Richards. But no, I don't know who you're referring to, but those are guys you take a chance on, bro. So I don't disagree with you in terms of like, bro, we can't keep re-signing Taj Gibson. But look, Andre Drummond, you got a third center now, so you don't want to give iHeart money, right? Even if it's $16 million per.
I'm okay with paying him what he can get. I'm okay with paying him $16 million a year. I don't have a problem paying him.
Yeah, that's the most we can give him. Can't give him more than $16.1.
My whole thing is I don't like the notion of talking about sacrificing Mitchell Robinson to keep him. Because at the end of the day, to me, I don't care about his passing. Right? His passing is cool. It's a nice luxury to have, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to win us a championship. At the end of the day, we need a guy who's going to go out there and protect the rim, get us some blocks, and go and get these rebounds to get us second chance points that can put us up. The Knicks, when we were we were the worst three-point shooting team in the fucking league last year in the playoffs. But the reason why we excelled and made it to the second round was because of Mitchell Robinson's impact on the offensive boards. He completely dominated.
Never took a dip, though. The boards did not take a dip once he left.
Bro, you keep saying the boards didn't take a dip.
It didn't. That's a testament to the team's coaching.
Listen, bro, you have Dante Deep. Listen, it's not about taking a dip. You need a big that is going to bang down there.
Talk about someone's impact, right? The individual impact has to be okay. If this guy is not there, we suffer in this way. But if the guy is not there and what he provides best, that stat or that impact does not take a dip once he's not there, it kind of marginalizes his dynamic impact. Like, oh my gosh, without Mitchell Robinson, our rebounds ain't about ish. We can't do nothing on the boards without Mitchell Robinson. This is not the case.
So let's think about it. If we would have had Mitch for that series, and again, I'm only speaking towards one aspect of the value he brings. Offensive rebounding, his rim protection, his ability to get putbacks. Again, he's a big body. You need size. It's not just about the offensive rebound, and it's not about a dip. Again, Josh Hart has to run in and get those rebounds. That's why the rebounds didn't take the dip. They're coming off the rim, but you still need a big down low, and it could come down to one crucial play where Mitchell Robinson's size is the difference maker. I'm not going to say because the numbers didn't dip that he's less valuable. No, I don't expect the numbers to dip when you have guys who rebound the ball. That puts pressure. First of all, with a coach like Thibs, other players have to step up. We're not supposed to see a decline in these things because a player goes out. Other players have to step up and make up for it, and that's why the Knicks were successful this season. That's like saying, "Oh, Julius Randle value is not important because the Knicks were still able to go far." No, the Knicks
no. I didn't say Mitchell Robinson.
The Knicks would have been better with Mitchell Robinson here.
I never said Mitchell Robinson was not important. That was definitely not what I'm saying. I'm saying that his dynamic. I'm talking about the dynamic ability, the dynamic impact. It goes down. It takes a hit because you're able to replicate that, and the way that, in a sense, that it made out other players even more impactful. Dante, Josh Hart, those guys showed out better on the floor when Mitchell Robinson was not there. OG Anunoby.
Can I say something to that?
Go ahead.
Imagine how less tired and how much better defensively or anything else or shooting wise Josh Hart could have been if he did not have to hustle to get 9 to 10 rebounds plus a night. Imagine how much better, and Dante DiVincenzo had a phenomenal shooting season. Imagine how much better his shot attempts would have been if he did not have to go and rebound the ball too.
Josh Hart has always been an above average rebounder. That's been his game his whole career.
Listen, my whole point is
I can't Josh Hart
had one of the most historic rebounding seasons for a guard.
And the funniest thing is that his offense got better in the playoffs without Mitchell Robinson.
It's supposed to.
But you're not listening. Your whole point. Your point takes a dip when we talk about Josh Hart and we talk about Josh Hart. Josh Hart did not. His impact on the floor did not take a hit because he was playing more. It actually got better.
Did you watch the Pacers series?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Hold up. That's also because OG. Okay, just the same way you said, OG was out.
OG was out, right?
Yes, but that was part of it. OG was out. They at a certain point, it's all right. How many guys can actually be out? How many guys can actually be out to the point where it's all right? Now you're just getting diminishing returns because this is impossible, right? I got a bench of players for most of it.
Robinson. You have to.
Guys in the chat. If anybody's in the chat, PDP. Hold on, PDP knows me. PDP. Have you heard me extol how good? No. I like.
Always not Mitchell. I don't. Arguments have we had about Mitchell Robinson, bro?
Not a lot. I don't kill Mitchell Robinson.
Stop it, GMO.
Wait, hold on. You're talking about Darcy. You talk about me hating Mitchell Robinson. Me pointing out Mitchell Robinson is not a great scorer. Our arguments about Mitchell. Hold up. Can I freaking talk? I let you talk all this time. Our arguments on Mitchell Robinson was, should the offense go through him? Should Mitchell Robinson have more takes? Is that literally not one of our biggest freaking arguments have been?
No. That's been some of our arguments, and that's a valid point, right? That's been some of our arguments.
We gotta move on after this, because it's like you cannot. Darcy is Roddy Piper. When you think you have the answers, he changes the questions, bro. Literally, we've had whole fights here about Mitchell Robinson and that he should be given more touches, that he has a few moves, he has blah blah blah.
Yes. I said yes.
Right, and those were that was literally
that's not all of them, bro.
I said that's the majority of our arguments. I've never seen that.
But when it comes to talking about trading Mitch and trying to degrade his value, you are at the front of the line. You are at the front of the line in my book, GMO. You're the only person I really hear that has heavy criticism towards Mitchell Robinson, bro.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
I don't care.
By the way,
F what you talking about, bro. Because like I said, I'm a Mitchell Robinson. That's my boy.
I love Mitchell Robinson, but
you don't, bro.
John. Hold on. Can I give a shout out? Can I please give a shout out to John of Still Knicks Fan? Please go subscribe to Still Knicks Fans, man. Those guys are doing excellent work, man. They're here every week, every Saturday. They doing some dope shows, man. Salute to my guys Ron and John of Still Knicks Fans, man. He says, he gave me. I don't even get this dude Darcy riled up anymore, bro. I'm too relaxed. I got 7 hours of sleep. I don't know how I got that. Isaiah Jackson, after all the injuries, I have second thoughts about every injury-prone player. PDP, don't disrespect Mitchell Robinson. Like, F out of here, you wrong. So iHeart isn't limited. Says the coolest Mitch is good, but he isn't untouchable. Corey Lee has piped down. All right, let me ask you a different question because we got to move it on, man. OG Anunoby. Now, this is one guy we could talk about. OG Anunoby, who probably gave the Knicks one of the best months of basketball in team history. That month of January was some of the best basketball we saw. What were we 12-3 during that stretch? One of the best defensive rating. You have 4 plays in the top 20 in terms of plus minuses. Just one of the best Knicks teams I've ever seen. And by the way, sorry to digress real quick. This ref for this Mets-Texas game is one of the worst umpires I've ever seen in my life. His strike zone is terrible, but sorry about that. He's getting me pissed. But with OG Anunoby, there have been talks about OG Anunoby possibly going to the 76ers. I still think it's a little bit hogwash because they've also have interest from guys like, or they're also interested in guys like Paul George. I think because they're the second highest in terms of cap space. People just assume that every wing is going to go to them. But I want to talk to you about this. OG Anunoby. Now, I did my so-called calculations on my little Excel breakout. And again, the Knicks right now, I talk about Knicks being a second apron team. Just assuming you now they've been talks that we're going to take Bojan Bogdanovic's contract and take that $19 million for the season. And then Isaiah Hartenstein saying you gave him the max at 16 per. Actually, I had it wrong here, but around 16 per, I believe, is the max you can give him at 16.1 or something like that. You could give him. We come out to 185 if you're giving OG Anunoby $35 million. At $40 million, you definitely go slightly over, or like just over the second apron, which puts a whole bunch of restrictions on us. I don't think the Knicks right now are a second apron team. There's still a lot of things we have to hash out with guys like Julius Randle in terms of the future. Now, granted, you can only we're only a second apron team for this upcoming season and next year with guys coming off like Bojan Bogdanovic, assuming we don't trade him. Julius Randle comes off. He has around $30 million, or he has a $32 million player option. Assuming he takes that, we're still under in 2025-26 at 157. But again, just to talk about OG Anunoby for next season. OG Anunoby at $40 million puts us around $190 million. Assuming we take on Bojan and re-sign iHeart at $16 million. What are your thoughts on OG Anunoby? The interest out there with OG Anunoby. Are you paying OG Anunoby $40 million to give you only about $60 million and possibly miss the playoffs again? How do you feel about OG Anunoby being re-signed by the Knicks?
To be honest, bro, I'm gonna pay him what he wants.
You say you're gonna pay? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You say you're gonna pay him one?
I'll pay him what he wants, bro. Whatever.
Pay him what he wants.
Yeah, pay him what he wants, bro. His impact, bro. The what he brings to this team defensively, and then the fact that we're already lacking in size. Right, Dante's not a big guard. Josh Hart's not a big guard. Jalen's not a big guard. We don't really have any big guards on this team. You need those forwards. You need those 3-and-D guys who, one, add size, can give you shooting, and also can rebound the ball and get in there and bang down with guys. So when you look at him, 7-footer, 6'8", 6'9" guy, you put him next to Randle, it just adds a whole different dynamic. You have 2 big guys running the floor out there that can knock down a 3 and put pressure on the defense a little bit too. And then OG, again, we haven't even seen the full glimpse of what he's capable of offensively, right? I think we're just tapping into that. This is a guy who's, 15 points a game, but that's on 10 attempts, right? This is a guy who, again, he can give you more. Now, again, his injury history is a concern, but when you look around the league, there's not many other guys that are going to give you what he can give you. So, to me, that's ultimately what it comes down to. And then you traded R.J. Barrett. You traded Emmanuel quickly, right? You traded young guys. You traded part of your future to acquire this guy. He brought you huge value, helped your team excel. We would have clearly beat Indiana if he was available. And, again, he's a game changer, right? When you know he's playing, it changes the dynamic of the team. So, you have to pay him. You don't have any other guy that's going to come in and supplement, and then you risk the long-term future of the team. So you pay him what he's asking for. Other players have taken a pay cut. JB, I'm not asking OG to take a pay cut. I'm paying him what he wants, and let's move on to the next situation.
You don't think that OG Anunoby, that you kind of betting against yourself if you give him that $40 million?
No.
Become a second apron team? Gonna be hamstrung, can't.
I don't think the Knicks are in a situation where they have to become a second apron team. I think they can re-sign these guys. Because again, you still have Bojan.
Right. But if you assume you take on Bojan, resign iHeart to the max at $60 million, anywhere above that say 39 million, you're at the second apron.
I'm not to me. This team is close to a championship, right? I think you have to maintain some level of wiggle room. And if I don't know who you again, I'm not trading Mitchell Robinson. I'm sorry.
I didn't say Mitchell Robinson. We talking about
I'm not saying no. The only reason I'm saying I mentioned Mitchell Robinson is because when you really think about it, how many low cost guys can you really package in a trade to bring in and acquire another guy, another high level guy? There's only 3 people you can do that with, and that's Dante, which you're not going to do. That's Josh Hart, which you're not going to do. And then that leaves Mitchell Robinson and Boyan, assuming you keep him. So, again, or Randle, right? So these are your only real guys that you have as an avenue to be able to really trade. So when it comes down to it, I would rather invest the money and keep this team together and see what they do. Because I think this team only needs minor pieces. You need more guys that Thibs trust off the bench, and you need some size. You need a guy who, if OG gets injured, can come in and supplement, whether you get that player via draft or free agency, right? A guy like Isaac Okoro, who has a little bit of a physical profile, can defend and also knock down a 3. You need those type of guys.
Isaac Okoro could not, man.
I mean, bro, he had a fairly decent 3-point shooting team, 3-point shooting season for the Cavs. So,
I do not trust. I feel you, but I just don't trust that dude in terms of scoring.
I mean, but we don't have anyone outside of OG that can give us that, and we know he's going to deal with injuries. You have to prepare for that. You have to have a contingency plan in place for that. So, like you said, I saw you post about the Dunn kid, right? To me, I'm putting my stock in those kind of moves, right? You need to find guys through the draft who can come in and help contribute to the team right away. Low-cost guys that you can get in free agency, guys who are willing to take a pay cut to be a part of what the Knicks are building. You have to start looking at those avenues because you got to pay these guys. These guys got to get paid. So, I mean, I don't know. You got to pay iHeart, right? You're not going to let him walk. Now, again, do you want to pay 2 bigs, 15 and 16 million? I would, because that's low cost for what they give you. You need both of them. To me, it's unfair to try to compare one to the other. You literally need both of them because they both give you 2 different things. And one lacks so much so of what the other gives that you can't just sit there and say, oh, it's not like it's a huge gap between the 2. It's like, no, you need the rim protection and rebounding, depending on the lineup. Because when you get Randle back, you don't need iHeart's passing. You needed all of that because you didn't have. Keep going. You needed all of that because you didn't have someone else to help create. You didn't have Randle there. You didn't have someone else to create offense. Now, when you get Randle back, someone who can pass, who's giving you 4 to 5 assists a game, you do not need iHeart passing the ball. So that was cool for this season, but in reality, when we get our full starting lineup back, that will not be the case. So this is what I'm saying. That's why the Knicks need to keep Mitchell Robinson, and he needs to be the starting center, not Isaiah Hartenstein. Mitchell Robinson needs to be there next to Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and OG Anunoby and Julius Randle. You see what OG and Mitch gives you on the defensive end, and he's going to give you those rebounds and get you those second chance points. Mitchell and Julius Randle, you're going to use him to help create a shot. This is a guy giving you 5 to 6 assists a game. What room do you have for iHeart to be holding the ball like that? Like I said, I just don't see it. With the second unit, yes, it makes sense. You relegate him to the bench and use his passing to help create for the second unit because we don't really have a person that's going to orchestrate the offense. Miles McBride is not there yet. So you need another ball handler too for the second unit. Him next to Boyan might be better.
And JJ, I apologize, man. Next Tiva app, for some reason, I've tried. It keeps saying I have to refresh it. It's not working for some reason. It's not turning on. I'm going to quit it and then just operate through Discord going forward. But I apologize, JJ. I don't know why this Next Tiva app is not working. I have no idea what the hell's happening. But OJ Anunoby, man, I'm not betting against myself. These guys started taking some hard stances. Look, we're already going to be above the first apron. That's fine. But I'm not paying $40 million for a guy who, again, I love OG Anunoby's impact here. It's amazing. But I've had these concerns since the Raptors, bro. He didn't even play in the championship. The Raptors won. This dude just cannot stay healthy when you need him to be. He just has one of these bodies, pores, or profiles where, with all these I don't know if you call them soft muscle injuries, tendon injuries, whatever it is, he just can't stay healthy. He's just one of those guys. So, look, I'm not betting against myself. I'm going to wait to see what other guys are paying. I'm going to try to get my other contract settled before I sign OG Anunoby, just to make sure I have a frame. And granted, look, it does suck that you traded RJ Barrett and IQ. I guess those are sunk. You have to almost look at it as sunk costs, but I'm not paying this guy $40 million, especially if I'm going to take on Bojan's contract and then try to trade. And I'm going to be a second apron team, assuming I sign iHeart. So, I agree with you on everything in terms of his impact. Again, January is the greatest month of basketball, one of the greatest months of basketball I've ever seen. But the Knicks look like people are like, yo, yeah, this could be a championship team right here, and I didn't have those championship aspirations. I also have to see what happens with Randle coming back. Which I think will be a nice barometer to see, okay, even without an OJ Anunoby, what's the framework with the team with Randle, obviously living more in the paint, living more in the post like he did once he kind of made that change from taking less threes around, I want to say, was it December where he started to kind of change his game around?
I feel like it was earlier than that. I feel like he...
Was it earlier? It could have been. Yeah, I maybe November or something. It's like November, December. It was around that time where it's like, okay, this is the most effective Randle I've seen, in a while, probably since the whole All NBA season. But yeah, I'm not betting against myself, man. I got to see where we are with that second apron. But OG, look, he signed with CAA, so and granted, the new contracts are coming in, but OG and Nuby, to me, man, it's just, bro, son. The dude missed the playoffs, and granted, I know he tried to come back last game. He didn't miss all the playoffs, but he, missed some clutch. We need him for that Pacers series, bro. I feel like even if we didn't have Randle there, if it was OG, Josh Hart, if he doesn't get hurt with that weird rib injury or ab injury, and Jalen Brunson, Dante, bro, I still think that team could beat the Pacers. But I will say this with the Knicks, and this is where the younger heads, the younger minds come into play, and they have to get out of this business of just trading picks to get better picks in the future, to trade it ultimately for a player. We got to start drafting players who we're developing for the next 2-3 years. Yep. Right? I don't care what no one says, bro. Look, and I know we did everything to get to Jalen Brunson, but I talked to my man, my brother Kyrie. He's my brother's friend, but he's a good family friend. And he's an OKC fan. Don't ask. He's from Brooklyn, but he's an OKC fan. And I was talking about Ousmane Dieng, and his eyes lit up like, yo, bro, you the only non-OKC fan I heard talk about Ousmane Dieng. And I was just hoping that everybody will forget about him, because he's like our best kept secret. Like, we got him in the lab in the G League. He's been doing really well. And those are the type of projects I want. So when we talk about, I don't know how much you've been following the draft. I guess we can kind of transition over to the draft stuff, but I don't know how much you've been following the draft. But there are some players to be had, man. I did a video on this talking about some guys like Ryan Dunn, who I've gotten killed for liking. But I'll say this. Salute to Zach Miller. I think Zach Miller will point out, and I talk about this in the video. I just couldn't find the actual film. But Ryan Dunn's jumper is not broke. And this guy's considered the best defender, wing defender, best defender overall, but he's essentially one of the best wing defenders in college basketball. You get it shooting up to where he can average 35-36% from outside off of even 1.5, 2 attempts a game. Bruh, you're getting an absolute steal in a guy like Ryan Dunn. Another guy I talk about, Darren Holmes, who averaged around 38% from 3 this past season with Dayton. I know it's Dayton, but his shooting, this guy's developed his shot for 3 years. He's a solid mid-range shooter as well too. Can operate in the post, can run the floor, can defend. Even my guy Keyshawn George from Miami. And these are guys that I thought initially at first should be in the second round, but because the draft is so weak, guys are just they're sneaking up into the first round. And another guy I point out today who the Knicks have already worked out. Now the Knicks have worked out several players. Let me try to get to this slide. So they can still hear you, Darcy, but I'm just showing a few slides real quick, so just don't feel offended, but they can still hear you. So here's some of just the matters I want to talk about. There's so many things to talk about. We could move on to the next show, but some draft workouts the Knicks have had. Ryan Dunn, sophomore out of Virginia. Brian Antoine out of Villanova. Joseph Garrard, fifth-year senior, come out of Clemson. And I spelled Clemson wrong because I'm an idiot. Malevi Lyons, Baylor Shireman, who I've just watched about an hour and a half of film on. Tyler Smith from the G League. Jameer Young come out of Maryland. And Tyrese Samuels, who I believe just worked out today or yesterday from Seton Hall. But Baylor Shireman, I'm butchering this guy's name so badly. Baylor Shireman. Bojan Bogdanovic, kind of replacement. Lefty. fifth-year senior, so he's a plug-and-play guy. I'm looking at this guy as a guy that, I'm not looking at a whole bunch of development even for this guy. I'm thinking this guy could come in, be a three-point sniper for us. Extremely, really good catch-and-shoot player, especially unguarded catch-and-shoots type of guy. Played his last season at Creighton, home of Doug McDermott. It's another guy who he played at South Dakota for it was South Dakota State for 3 years, but had some decent numbers. But again, South Dakota State just not a major conference. So again, the lack of visibility on him. He wants to get a better draft spot. But a guy who can hit from the outside. He's also a solid rebounder. Watch a good amount of film. Again, he's not the most athletic, but he's a guy who's going to crash the boards and try to crash the boards, put in good effort. He's a guy who can operate really well in the pick and roll. His dribbling's okay. He's a guy that, I think they give him his usage is 25%. I would say probably fairly high for a guy that you're expecting to come in and be a catch and shoot sniper. But in terms of having the ball in his hands, he's a guy that, he has kind of like the so-called Tibbs mentality in terms of just get to the spot, operate the pick and roll, try to be too fancy. Some concerns I have about him, his finishing kind of gives you some qualms, man. I wouldn't call it R.J. Barrett like when R.J. Barrett was here with the Knicks and struggle finishing, but he has some gimmies where it's like, bro, in the NBA you gotta make it at the angle. Sometimes he's taking a floater or going for the layup, and he's missing them, right? And these aren't the easiest angle layups, but these are layups that you have to complete them in the NBA. But again, just as a catch and shoot guy, get some of Joe Ingles. My comp to me was like Luke Kennard with handles. Now people go, Luke Kennard is but if I get Luke Kennard in the second round, the Knicks have 24, 25th. Now they're talking about trade packaging 24, 25th. But if I get this guy at 38th in the second round, bro, that's a solid player. Guy's a plug and play guy. Some people call him Joe Ingles, like I said. Luke Kennard comes in, can hit threes from the outside, space the floor, make the right pass, give some effort on the rebounding end. I'm excited to see this guy in the summer league. But these are guys that you draft, and people would say, "How did you got Austin Reeves?" Now, some people say Austin Reeves. I just think because he's white, so they just want to compare him and say he's Austin Reeves. But I think Austin Reeves is a little bit more athletic than he is, a little bit better finisher than he is. And I don't know how much you've been watching of the draft or focus on the draft, but there's some names we want to talk about, man. But Baylor Shireman is definitely one that I've been looking at. But in terms of having that four, guys like Darren Holmes coming out of Dayton, is definitely one that I think the Knicks should look at. With one of those 24, 25 picks, he definitely should be there. I know everybody's scared about the Obi Toppin issue, but the Knicks need some young depth. I can't be looking at Muhammad Diakate and freaking what's your man with the tats? Oh my gosh, the guard. Why am I forgetting this guy's name? But I'm looking at guys on our bench. I'm not saying the Tibbs going to expand his rotation to 12, 13. I'm not saying that, 11, 12 guys. But, I need guys for the future that save OG Anunoby or somebody gets traded and they give us only one player. You can't just go out there and play a rotation of 7, 8 guys. Just seeing what's happening to players and guys getting hurt. We just need better depth, and we need depth that we're developing. But yeah, give me your thoughts, Darcy. If you have any thoughts on Shireman, you have any thoughts on Holmes, you have any thoughts on any of these late guys coming in. Khalil Ware, and I'm going to do a video on him, but Khalil Ware is definitely a player that Knicks should be looking at. And I think he's good. I think could be there. The PDP is talking about Khalil Ware. Khalil Ware, he's a guy that, look, I'm not sure just when you look at the profile, he transferred from Oregon to Indiana. He has these up and down, I won't say attitude, but like his heart, his effort sometimes could be a little bit. I think sometimes those two, you just look at his game, it's a little bit slow. So I don't think it's necessarily just his attitude, but he's had the issue of his motor being up and down. But you look at that Wisconsin game, 24 points, 11 rebounds, 5 blocks. Your man was an absolute demon. If you get 70-80% of that in the NBA, that's a nice steal for the Knicks there. But Khalil Ware is definitely one the Knicks should be looking at. They said Zach Edey. Zach Edey, man, to me, man, slow plotting. And suits to my brother Peter Lonzo with a 2-run bomb. Zach Edey, I'm not the biggest fan of, bro. And I get why people like Zach Edey. Purdue, I don't know. Big plotting center, old school center, is not going to space out the floor. He has like a half a twitch in terms of just speed and reaction time, bro. I don't know. I don't know if it translates to NBA, but yeah, Darcy, give me your thoughts, man. If there's any players in the draft you've been looking at, any guys you've been focusing on.
Really the Dunn kid, honestly, because I like what he gives you. Like, to me, I'm looking at who can come in and play OG's not here, and at least give you 60 to 70% of what he gives you on the defensive end of the ball. And a guy who can, again, put a little pressure on the defense, knock down a shot if he's open, or with a little contest. I'm not saying Dunn is that guy, but I like defensively what he gives you, and that's what I feel we need. We need to make sure we have stoppers. Miles McBride, great kid, great defensively, but he's small, right? We need a real 3-and-D guy with some size to him, good wingspan that can help get some deflections. If you're going to take the guard route, what? Anthony Melton, what position is he? Off the 6?
Two guard.
Okay, yeah, right. So he's a 2 guard. But, yeah, I like the Dunn kid. I like what he gives you. I also like Baylor, too, that you just pulled up. I like his shooting, and I like his rebounding, right? To me, that would be huge off the bench. Catch and shoot guy. If he's not shooting the ball well, he can at least get in there and help get some rebounds, too. Decent in the pick and roll, so you can use them in different ways, add some versatility to the second unit. I think you kind of need to try to figure out how you can add to the bench. And most of all, bringing in players that Thibs is going to trust immediately to put in the game. We don't need 7 players sitting on the bench who are never going to get in the game because Thibs doesn't trust them when it counts. Why are we paying? So, yeah, I like those 2 guys. Yeah, Dunn and Baylor. Those are the 2 that I say I've looked at, but I haven't really paid much attention to anyone else in the draft just because I don't know if we're going to even keep the picks or. We don't
even. Yeah, I might be doing all this work and it means
for nothing, right?
Yeah. Then we trade him up for 25 first or something like that, which is a stronger draft. But to me, man, I look at this, man. In every draft, you can get a player. There are always going to be players who just aren't good. There always going to be players that go to situations where they just went to the wrong situation, right? Mm-hmm. Like, people like to call out these guys bust and say they're trash. And one thing I know from watching the NFL is that a lot of situations, man, they overdraft a player and expect them to be the savior, expect them to be a lot better than what even their scouting reports, what their coaches, what their film have told. It's like, yo, this dude needs development. I've seen it in the NFL where they say, yo, a quarterback, he needs a few more years, and then at training camp they're like, F it, we're gonna start. I'm like, no, you need a quarterback to protect it for at least a year. He got to sit down and learn. He got to sit down and get to the game speed. So when I look at guys, certain players, even in the NBA, it happens the same way. Talk about 2013, okay, the first Anthony Bennett draft. But yeah, you had Giannis, you had Oladipo, who I thought should have been the first player, but it's because, Oladipo's not a big, and, college basketball, Bennett, just the size. I'm like, bro, I don't give a damn who you think is. Draft the guy that in your heart of hearts is the best player. And right now, you have a situation with the Hawks where they're kind of getting rebuffed by is it Alex Sarr or whatever. He doesn't want to work out for them, so they're looking at possibly taking Klingon from UConn, and I'm just like, dog, you take the best player you want. F all these draft experts, F all these draft guys who say, you got to take this guy because when that guy's a bust and the guy that you wanted is flourishing elsewhere, those draft experts aren't going to be there to be like writing articles say, you know what, no, we put the pressure on him to take this player. He should have taken it. I've seen it, bro. Like, don't listen to these people, man. If you see a player you want, you take him. So, and to me, and like I said, in every draft, there's a player to be had. They said it's going to be as bad as 2000 draft, but let me tell you who's in 2000 draft. Obviously, Kenyon Martin was the number 1 pick, but you do have players like, and I know people might kill me for this, but Mike Miller in this type of NBA would probably flourish just because he's a sniper, right? Jamal Crawford was also in that draft. You also have one of my favorite players, Michael Redd. If it wasn't for the freaking injury, Michael Redd would have probably been one of the best players in the 2000s. Your man could get you a bucket. He was one of the best shooters. So in this draft, it's tough, but this is where you make your money. You find you a player that other people be like, wait, he was in this draft? Wait, hold up. This guy was in the second round? So that's why I said, and Ryan Dunn to me, yes, he's a project, but to me, man, and this is what I also want to do with the Knicks got to do this, bro. I agree with Nick in the sense that if I'm a player, I'm working. If I have any glaring deficiencies in my game, bro, I gotta invest my own money. I gotta invest the time and hours. I'm working my ass to the bone to where Bro, it's muscle memory. If I'm a bad shooter, like in the NBA, unless you got a weird issue like Ronnie Brewer back in the day, bro. If I'm a bad shooter in NBA, bro, 16 hours out of my day, I'm in the gym shooting. That sounds crazy, but you know what? I'm gonna get a tent. I'm gonna get me a room. I'm sleeping in the gym. I wake up when I'm going to take a dump. I'm just walking past a court shooting. Yo, bro, it has to be in you, bro. Like, yo, you gotta work hard at this, man. Like, I still don't understand some of these players where they just don't get better. But on the flip side with the Knicks, and this is why I gotta say salute to guys like OKC Thunder. They hired Chip England after he got let go by the Spurs. Salute to the Pelicans who got Fred Vincent, who's their shooting coach and was able to help Lonzo Ball become an actual 3-point shooter, and also help Brandon Ingram become a 3-point shooter as well too after his struggles with the Lakers. The Knicks gotta invest in these type of coaches, bro. It makes no sense. I get it. The players have to be self-starters, but why not have those extra resources there to get guys up to speed? Yes, Miles McBride. Susan Miles McBride for being, but you know, to me, man, bro, it doesn't hurt for you to have a shooting coach to help expedite the process for young players. Like you talk about Ryan Dunn, I agree with you, bro. When we talk about on the defensive end, imagine a lineup where yes, you have OG Anunoby in there, but imagine a bench where Ryan Dunn is giving you 15, 20 minutes now in place of OG Anunoby. Now OG Anunoby doesn't have to play as many minutes, right? And Ryan Dunn just gives you those defensive, could run the floor, could play the passing lanes, could defend anywhere from your 1 to your 4.
I feel like Tim still wouldn't play OG less minutes.
I feel you, but let's just think about it. He might because Ryan Dunn comes from Virginia. Tony Bennett, Tibbs likes players who come from those pedigree-based schools where it's like, all right, they got the coach there, Tony Bennett. They have a certain philosophy. They play a certain way. The Huggins, you talk about Calipari when he's with UK. You talk about Villanova, Jay Wright. He likes those type of coaches who teach you fundamentals. And you talk about the pack line defense. You talk about defense that actually mirrors a lot of what the Knicks do, right? Protect the paint, stop the dribble drive penetration. At the very worst, they're going to shoot a 3-point shot, so that'll be your secondary option. Focus on defense, right? Trap the players if you can in certain spots on the floor. And Ryan Dunn, to me, bro, Tibbs got to be patient. If you bring on a guy like Ryan Dunn, you got to give him time to get his confidence up. And again, now I'm going to show this video as I let Darcy speak. Ryan Dunn's jumper is not broken. I watched the high school film that your man Ryan Miller or something put up. The shot is there. It's all about confidence. Now, Darcy's going to give me pushback on this. If you buy in defensively in Tom Thibodeau's system, he will give you the space to shoot. As crazy as it sounds, right or wrong?
I actually agree with that, right? I think I've heard it say, listen, if you're open, shoot the ball, right? Not that he's going to run an offense through you, but I think if you're open, shoot the ball. But I do think if he also feels like it's not a high quality shot, he's also going to let you know. So it's a give and take kind of situation with that.
I feel Darcy actually agreed with me on something, but yeah, I think with Ryan Dunn, man. Now, people been kill me. Oh, Ryan Dunn. I'm like, look, I'm not looking at what it is now. I'm looking at what it could be. And even if he comes in a second round, bro, at 38, bro, I'll take that any day of the week. As much as I like Bayer Shireman and whatnot, but the Knicks have to get some young depth. We talking about second aprons, and bro, we talking about. Let me ask you this: Randle comes off in 25-26. Are you re-signing him? Yep. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just asking you a straight up question. So please don't get mad at me.
It really depends on what he does in this next season. Can he be there to help the team up? And again, to me, it's also what number is he looking at, right? And does it fit our long-term plans? Those are the two questions that I'm asking. I'm looking at his performance, right? Is he available when we need him to win? And two, based on what he wants to get paid, does it fit into our long-term plans and what we're looking to do to keep building a contender? And if both the answers to those questions are not solid answers where we can move with confidence, then, and then the third question is, if you don't re-sign him, what's the contingency? Who else are you bringing in to fit next to OG and Jalen Brunson? And again, it's tough, bro. So I think you do keep Randle.
Here's the thing though, and we talked about this during the season. The worst thing to happen to Randle was for the Knicks to actually make a run without him. That's the thing. It's like, I do think you do need some type of replacement to fill in that production, or you need him. I'm just saying in general. But Randle, we needed OG and Anunoby more than we needed Randle. Like, it sounds crazy. I know, yes, having a secondary player with Randle would have done us wonders. Do not get it twisted. But I look at how the Knicks offense ran. I look how the defense ran. And I wasn't crying for Randle, bro. It wasn't like, yo, bro, like, it was more so if OG was healthy, I think we beat the Pacers. Now, if we get to the Celtics, all right, that's a different spiel. But the Celtics, to me, I know they went there 16-3, whatever the hell they went through the playoffs. But there were many times in the playoffs the Celtics looked shaky in terms of like their offense, in terms of their offense or their game looking as good as it did in the regular season. There were definitely some hiccups. And I think they got the confidence playing the Pacers. Obviously, the Pacers with Halliburton being out, but even with Halliburton being whatever, Pacers just whatever. And then getting to the finals and seeing how bad Luka's defense was. Your man Luka was an absolute turnstile defensively. I just never felt like I never felt like, damn, the Knicks couldn't have done this, and that's without Randle. So go ahead.
Yeah, I just feel like, bro, I'm not really one of those players that looks and say because a team plays well without a player that necessarily means that they would be better off without him, right? And I'm not saying you're saying that, but I try not to think from that standpoint because, again, what Randle gives you, the pressure that he puts on the defense, I look at guys like Dante. We had Dante who stepped up into the starting lineup and had the impact that he had. Josh Hart, one of his best seasons, energy guy. You had a lot of guys that you brought in that could step up. OG could give you 10 attempts at least. JB, another monster season. So that's cool. But I just feel like to go all the way, you need that big power forward that's giving you that 25, 8, and 4 to 5 assists. And to me, Randle is that guy who he gives us more confidence. Even if we didn't have OG and we had Randle, I still feel like we would have fared well. Even if we did not have OG, right? And again, OG has a huge defensive impact. But Randle offensively would help counter a lot of the issues that we're dealing with, and he also would have given us added size versus playing Josh Hart at the power forward, right? Josh Hart, we're used to him coming off the bench or coming in at the 2-guard position next to JB. You added Dante into this mix, and you were still able to incorporate Josh Hart into the starting lineup. Next year, if you have Randle there, you can't really do that so much. Not unless you're going to sit one of OG or Dante, which you're not going to do. So Josh Hart is going to be relegated back to his bench role of being that guy coming off the bench. You have to figure out what your lineup is going to be if you want to have Josh Hart next to JB. But I'm looking at this and I feel like we still need Randle. I don't feel we're at that point where the team is necessarily better off without him, because if I look at the playoffs, JB had to work so much harder in that Pacers series because there was really no one else that was that much of an offensive threat. Even with OG there was no one that's truly an offensive threat outside of JB. And so teams are guarding him harder, right? And just because he's still playing well and matching that intensity doesn't mean he's going to be able to do that throughout the entirety of the playoffs. So when I think about long-term, I need that guy who teams have to really still game plan and worry about. You can't just give all your energy or 80% of your energy to Brunson. You add Randle into that mix, no, you have to give it 60-40 at least. So that's how I'm thinking. I'm thinking, hey, if we would have matched up against the Celtics, they have Jason Tatum, they have Jaylen Brown, they have Kristaps Porzingis, all guys who give you so much offensively that you have to really game plan around them. The Knicks, we only had Brunson, and that's why I think we truly fell short. I think that's why JB didn't have a monster playoff series against the Pacers like he did in that first round, and I think that's because they were able to really load up on him, and there was nobody else that he could really go to that we could run the offense to. Dante, it gave us as much as he was going to give us. But I am not expecting him to sustain that level of play, and he's not going to be that guy to give you that level of production night in and night out. It's just not realistic. Randle is a guy who's battle-tested year after year, all-star kind of guy, all-NBA player. And again, if he's not shooting the ball well, he's still going to give you rebounds. He's still going to give you ball creation. So, at the end of the day—
Let me ask you this. So how much you pay with the new TV contract coming in, $7.6 billion, right? Imagine the top. I think the finals, the max is going to move up 5% from 280 something, whatever Jaylen Brown's getting paid to 300 million. How much you paying Randle, right? Randle's going to make 32 million in his, or the play options for 32 million. Are you paying Randle 45 million?
I need to take a look at kind of what's.
That's more than 5%, but a lot more than 5%.
Yeah, I mean, I need to see. Again, I'm not maxing him out. I'm not going to sign him to a max contract. I would expect him to take a pay cut to help the team win.
You think he's? Whoa. Let's talk. Randle, who already probably felt he took a pay cut with his current contract. You think Randle's going to take another? He's going to take an even further pay cut? Pay cut to what he's making now, or pay cut to what you think the cap?
What I would do is, even if it's again, I feel like these guys understand this is not a regular team. You are playing for the New York Knicks, who have not won a championship since the 70s.
They don't care, yo, bro. I mean, they want to get paid too,
bro.
Well,
I'm gonna be honest. I think Randle wants to win in New York so much so that it's not about money. These guys know if they win in New York, bro, like. You're going down in history, bro. Like this. But
he already took a pay cut, bro.
I get it. But I think all things considered, I still think that Julius Randle, for the betterment of this team and their opportunity to win a championship, especially with a guy who has his work ethic and who has worked so hard, and you can see he wants to win. He wants to be out there. Randle was a machine. So to me, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, but he's also getting up. Like. He'll be above 30. He's a guy that is. I hate saying this because he's had some freak injuries, so I can't say he's been injury prone. That's not. But he's had some freak injuries, right? And those things pile up, right? Again, I'm not issuing on him. Please don't take it as me insulting, but when you get certain injuries and sometimes your body compensates for you recovering from this still injury and you still recover. So he's a guy that above 30 and has been getting some weird freak injuries, bro. You paying him 40, 45 million, possibly 50?
I mean, I look at it like this, right? Here's why I pay him, right? I'm not going to max him out. I'm going to give him what he wants, but as long as it's not a max. But here's the reason why. I look at it like this. This is a guy who's still going to give you high level of play. He's going to, again, he's not a one-dimensional guy. He's not just putting the ball in the hoop. He's rebounding, and he can pass the ball as well. And again, you're going to need that guy that if you want to upgrade this roster, you have to have a guy that teams would at least be okay with trading for and giving up some picks. And Randle is obviously that guy because you're not going to want to.
They want to give up. They want to trade once it reaches a certain threshold in terms of the pricing, bro. They don't want to pay that for unless it's like they got some players who want to unload or something like that.
Yeah, there's going to be players making more than Randle though, right? So if you want one of those guys, you're going to need to include him in the trade to even catch up to that kind of salary that these guys are now going to be getting paid with. They're getting upwards of 50-something million a year. So I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to have to pay these guys. This is just what it's coming down to. And I don't see anybody else that I think is a clear upgrade over Randle to where it's like, hey, let's let Randle go and get this guy, right? I don't see that. Even I know fans are fans of Lauri Markkanen. I like Lauri Markkanen, but I just don't think that he's an upgrade over Randle to where it would be worth the work to go and get that kind of guy. You have Randle in New York. He knows what it's like to play in New York. He knows he's had ups and downs with the fan base. He knows what he wants to be here too. And again, he's been battle tested. This is a guy who has a lot of availability. If he gets injured and he can't play, you know it's because he can't play. He's not sitting out any games, and if he can tough it through, he's going to play. And you don't get that's not going to show up on a stat sheet. But these are things that are invaluable that matter at the end of the day. His availability and his willingness and commitment to this team is parallel to none. And I'm going to reward him for that, for wanting to be here. KD and Kyrie, he came in a season where we were devastated as a fan base, and he came and gave us some level of optimism, and he took on the pressure of what it takes to be in New York. He didn't run from
it. He floundered under the pressure when he was by himself. But, you know.
I mean, again, right?
I get what you're trying to say.
Making the playoffs with Elfrid Payton as your starting point guard, bro, is
no. But I'm talking about. No. I'm not talking about that year. He did crazy that year. I'm talking about the year after when when they
Oh, we didn't make the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not even about his I don't even care. I knew his performance was gonna take a dip, so I wasn't even mad per se. I was just like, bro, like, and I'm always guys who's mad at the whole throwing up your middle finger, but he was starting to break down. He was missing press conferences and stuff like that. It's like, bro, even if you are struggling, you gotta do a better job in terms of exemplifying or showing that, yo, bro, like, even through the storm, like, we struggling, but we're gonna hold it together. Because if people looking at you like, yo, you are best player, you the guy who just made All NBA, you supposed to be the head of this team, bro, and you acting like that. So again, I mean, that's water on the bridge right now. But you know, with Randle, bro, it's tough. I guess once the time comes, but I'm not sure if I'm paying him 40, 50 something million, bro. Like, I gotta see what he does this season. I gotta see how the offense looks with him and OG and Anunoby. I gotta see how those two guys play. You know, I know they played in January, but I gotta see those guys, him and Brunson, obviously, all three of those guys play together for, you know, a good chunk of the season. See how the offense moves, how the defense also plays with Randle there, because again, OG and Anunoby has to probably account for a lot of the things from Randle. And, you know what I'm saying? Some of his defensive lapses. But yeah, I guess that's some time out there, bro. But look, Randle, to me, I give him a lot of credit. To me, for people who say I hate Randle, put it like this: I think Randle has been more impactful in New York than Carmelo Anthony. As people may want to kill me for that, and before Carmelo came to the Knicks, I hope he's not watching the show. He's probably not, or most likely not. Before Carmelo came to the Knicks, he was my favorite non-Knick player in the league. Ask my brothers. Carmelo Anthony was my son with them Denver Nuggets. Then when he came to the Knicks, whatever. But to me, Randle to me has been more impactful than Carmelo Anthony. But with Randle's gonna be some tough choices, man. It sucks because he did take a pay cut. Now I've heard through the grapevine, Randle, Brunson, OG have all been. Actually, let me take the back. I don't want to get in no trouble. Erase what I just said. Forget what you just heard. But with Randle, I gotta see what happens this season, man. And that's my guys. He said Melo had a terrible game, but yo, my brother Darcy, man, I'm about to be out, man. As always, a spirited debate, bro.
My dog outside, man.
All right, yeah, take that pretty ass dog. Man, you think Darcy would have a pit or a boxer or a bully? Yeah. This dude got the freaking full house dog over here, man. But I love golden retrievers, bro. So it's you can't even get mad around a golden retriever. They're the greatest dogs. But Darcy, my brother, man, I appreciate you, man.
You already know, man.
Peace, right, God bless, man. Peace,
all right,
bro.
Knicks fans.
Yes, sir. That's my guy Darcy, man. And suit to my brother Darcy, bro. He was like, yo, let's have a show. We gotta talk about it, bro. So even if you don't like what he's saying, bro, Darcy, out of all people, great supporter. You know what I'm saying, man? Him, Ace, Nick, bro. Those guys always down to support. So I appreciate those guys. And you guys in the chat been good. You guys haven't been, jerks or nothing to Darcy. I don't know why I can't get this thing to show properly. You guys have been good to Darcy, so it's all good. It's all butters. But yeah, man, I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, bro. We got to talk about this draft as well, too, man. I got some more names I'm doing work on. So obviously, Baylor Shire. Why is I got breasts? What the hell? Oof. Look fat. What is this? I don't know. Let me change this damn. This thing made me like I'm fat. So what the hell? Yeah, so I did my 300 push-ups today. So you don't see the guns, even though I got the yellow stains under the arm. You don't see the Gunthers. Let me chill. Chill. You doing too much, man. You wilding. But anyway, why can't I take? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to take the StreamYard thing off the screen. Hold up. If I just quit the StreamYard. All right, perfect. That works. I can't even find my original. All right, here it is. Yeah. So we talk about Baylor Shiremon. I keep messing this guy's name up. Be interested to see who else the Knicks work out. Some other things I want to talk about, but obviously we can talk about another time. Man, talk about being a second Apron draft needs. I want to talk about Kelly Oubre available. We can talk about another time too, man. But guys, I appreciate you, man, being back here. It feels great. Of course, this goes to the other screen. Why the hell will it go to the screen? This felt great coming back again. I'm still working some taped content because that definitely helps the channel. So please stay tuned for that. Also doing some more street work, man. Haven't done some interviews. I gotta do some more interviews. Let me see. He said, I forgot, Gmo, you're a whippersnapper. I don't know what that means. Does that mean young? Gmo looking like Raymond Felton. Hell no, such. Yo, I'm gonna smack this dude in the face when I see him, son. Suit to Raymond Felton too, man. Watch your mouth, son. Raymond Felton is one of the goats, and of course my camera goes out as I'm talking to you guys. So I'm gonna end it here, man. Read a few comments. PDP, my guy, salute. JJ winning 3-point guys got his head. Just want to show a 3 set of playing down low. Stay in touch, Gmo. Of course, he said stay in touch. This guy, Cat too soft. Peace darts, don't let us down. Rose, tired of the Celtics ish. Yeah, man. Yeah. Susu. Nah, Gmo, spit it out. Nah. Gmo, you're reaching. You're crying over spilled milk. Wamp. What happened? Spilled milk. What, Carmelo? Alright, man. Alright, whatever. Alright. Because people think I hated Carmelo. Son, Carmelo was my son. Listen to Carmelo, man. He has a great podcast at 7 a.m. or 7 a.m. But yeah, suits everybody in the chat, man. I'll be back next week. Definitely doing more and more. We had 60 people in the chat, 63 people in the chat one time, man. That's great for a guy I've not been on in a while, man. I appreciate you guys, man, trying to build this back up. So I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace through, God bless, and we are out. Hit that rock. Peace.